Imagine returning to a place you once called home, only to find it eerily silent. 3 years have passed since you left, and you expect to hear laughter, the clang of tools, the bustle of life. But as your feet touch the sand, there is only stillness. The settlement stands empty, houses intact, palisades strong, but not a soul in sight. 117 men, women and children have vanished. No signs of struggle, no remains, no clues, except one. Carved into the fort's entrance, CROATOAN. Was it a message, a direction, or a final farewell? This single word has echoed through history, the heart of a mystery that endures. John White, returning to Roanoke Island in August 1590, found only questions. He had come to rescue the first English colony in the New World, but there was no one to save. The silence was overwhelming, the absence complete. White and his men searched every corner, calling out into the void. Everything was in its place, yet utterly lifeless. The colonists had crossed an ocean, full of hope, only to disappear without a trace. Their dreams, their courage, and their fate remained lost to time. The only thing left was the silence, a silence that speaks louder than any words. The mystery of Roanoke had begun. What happened on that silent shore? The Roanoke story began with hope, not loss. In 1587, England, eager to rival Spain's New World riches, sent over 100 settlers to North America. Led by Sir Walter Raleigh, these were families, men, women, and children, seeking a new life. Their intended destination was Chesapeake Bay, but they landed instead on Roanoke Island, a place already marked by a failed military colony. The soil was poor, the waters shallow, but the settlers pressed on. Among them was John White, the colony's governor, and his daughter Eleanor Dare. Soon after arrival, Eleanor gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. Her birth symbolized hope, a new beginning for England in the New World. But challenges mounted quickly. The settlers arrived too late to plant crops, and supplies dwindled. Relations with local tribes were tense, haunted by past violence. Isolated and unprepared, the colonists faced a harsh reality. Their survival depended on help from England. The dream of a thriving colony was slipping away. The settlers' only chance was to send John White back across the Atlantic for supplies. He left behind his family and the entire colony, promising to return quickly. The fate of Roanoke now hung on a perilous journey, and the hope that help would arrive in time. The seeds of mystery were sown alongside the seeds of hope. Would the colony survive until White's return, or would their story end before it truly began? As summer faded, desperation grew in Roanoke. Food was scarce, and attempts to trade with local tribes failed. The colonists turned to John White, urging him to return to England for help. It was a painful choice. White's own daughter and granddaughter were among those he'd leave behind. But the colony's survival depended on it. Before departing, they agreed. If the settlers moved, they'd carve their new location into a tree or post. A Maltese cross would signal danger. White sailed for England, vowing to return by spring. But fate intervened. War with Spain erupted, and every English ship was needed for defense. White's pleas for a relief mission were ignored. 3 years would pass before he could return. 3 years of uncertainty for those left behind. The governor's burden was heavier than ever. In England, John White found a nation at war. The Spanish Armada threatened invasion, and every ship was commandeered for battle. White's mission to save Roanoke was sidelined by national crisis. He tried, and failed, to secure passage for years. The colony was forgotten, lost in the chaos of war. Only in 1590 did White finally secure a ship. As he sailed back, hope and dread warred within him. What would he find on Roanoke's shore? August 1590. John White returned to Roanoke, heart pounding with hope. He saw smoke rising in the distance. Was it a signal from the colonists? But the fire was only a forest blaze, not a welcome. The settlement was deserted. Houses had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed. A new palisade stood, built after White's departure, evidence of caution, not chaos. No bodies, no graves, no signs of violence. Then, the clue, CROATOAN, carved into the fort's entrance. No Maltese cross, no sign of distress. Another tree bore the letters CRO, an unfinished message. White believed the colonists had moved to CROATOAN Island, home of their native ally, Monteo. He was desperate to follow, but a storm loomed. The ship's captain refused to risk the journey south. White was forced to leave, unable to search for his family or the missing settlers. The only evidence, a word carved in wood and a settlement abandoned with care. The fate of the colony remained a mystery. White returned to England, never to see his family again. The trail had gone cold. The silence of Roanoke was complete. The world would never know what truly happened. The legend of the Lost Colony was born. The word CROATOAN is the heart of the Roanoke mystery, the most accepted theory. The colonists, facing starvation, joined the friendly CROATOAN tribe. Later explorers heard tales of Native Americans with European features and English customs. The Lumbee people claimed descent from the lost colonists, though DNA evidence is inconclusive. Other theories are darker. Starvation, disease, or violence may have claimed them. Some suggest the colonists split up, with one group moving inland to Site X, where Tesubastatikantan. When Nebersibot Subari ban Bison Marson Iran, Engager Der, Inchester Jur, and Justabots Pens for Desibach, Injur artifacts have been found. Perhaps they tried to reach Chesapeake Bay, their original destination. No graves, no remains, only whispers and clues. Each theory is a fragment, a possibility carried on the wind. The truth remains elusive. The silence of Roanoke endures. The fate of the colonists is still unknown. The mystery lives on. The Lost Colony of Roanoke remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Over 100 settlers vanished, leaving only the word CROATOAN behind. John White never found his family, and no large-scale search ever followed. By the time Jamestown was founded in 1607, the trail was cold. The story endures because of what we do not know. Did the colonists find a new life among Native Americans, or did tragedy claim them? The risks of exploration, the fragility of hope, and the power of the unknown are all woven into Roanoke's legacy. For centuries, archaeologists and historians have searched for answers. The puzzle remains incomplete. The silence of Roanoke is a canvas for our imagination. What really happened to the men, women, and children of Roanoke? Perhaps we will never know. The mystery endures, echoing through time.